Yo, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, in this video, I want to go ahead and open up a discussion and kind of give my thoughts and opinions from somebody who's actually done it. Is it worth supercharging a 99 to 04 2-valve 4.6 liter Mustang GT? Let me know down in the comment section right now, what do you guys think? Is it worth it, or is it a complete waste of money? I know a lot of you guys who watch the channel have boosted Mustangs or are maybe on the fence of boosting your 2-valve Mustang GT, and hope that this video is going to kind of clear up the air and make your decision on if it's worth it or not. Now, what you guys see in front of me is going to be my 2004 Mustang GT. This is a 110% stock motor that's in the car as of right now. This motor has stock heads, stock cams, stock rods, pistons, crank. It's never been opened, and it has 75,000 miles on it. Now, what you guys see here is going to be a Vortech V1-Ti Trim Supercharger. This is going to be a larger head unit, and it has a 2.87 pulley on it, making around 13.5 pounds of boost at 6,200 RPMs. Yes, my RPMs are actually cut a little bit short because of the amount of boost that the supercharger does produce, and it's on the higher end of the horsepower and torque range. This car makes 450 wheel horsepower as well as 450 foot-pounds of torque, and that was on a Mustang dyno. So take that for what you will. Mustang dynos typically read lower, so this car could be upper 460s, maybe even 470 wheel horsepower, but nonetheless, this is a 100% bone stocked engine. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain all the mods that I've done to this car to kind of reach this horsepower number as well as the torque number. Now, if you guys can see here, hopefully you guys can, down there I have a set of BBK long tube headers. They are going to be the 1 5/8 inch long tube headers. I also have an LAR Performance Off-Road X Pipe, so I have free-flowing, no caps, no mufflers, nothing. And out the back of this car, I have Borla ATAK exhaust. This car is very loud, but in my personal opinion, and from a lot of people tell me, it sounds pretty darn good. Now, this whole setup, the supercharger, the long tube headers with the exhaust, especially the Borla ATAK Catback exhaust, can range up to $4,000. That's going to be for the head unit, the long tube headers, as well as the catback. Now, some of the other modifications that I've made that you guys cannot see is I have some NGK one-step colder spark plugs, as well as some Edelbrock coil packs, which I'm actually going to go ahead and put some Ford OEM Motorcraft coil packs in this car as well, which I recommend you guys doing regardless if you guys are going to just do spark plug maintenance or boost these cars. Now, all that being said, about $4,000 for the setup to supercharge these cars. Is it worth it? Now, what I am going to say might actually go ahead and kind of shock and alarm some people on this. Now, here's the thing. The reason why this setup was $4,000 is because I went ahead and actually got a good deal on Facebook, which I recommend you guys actually going ahead and doing so. If you guys want to join in the Facebook groups, 99 to 04 Mustang GT, you know, the parts pages, that's actually where I would go to find a supercharger head unit, because the price to boost these cars brand new is actually kind of ridiculous. It's pretty expensive, and if you guys do not like to buy used parts, if you guys only want to buy new, what I'm going to tell you is it is 110% not worth supercharging these cars at all, because the money you're going to spend is going to be upwards of $10,000 or more, and for that money you can go ahead and put a nice down payment on a brand new Mustang 5.0, or go ahead and put a really good down payment on a 99 to 04 or 99 to 04 and 03 04 Cobra. Now, if you guys do not mind buying used parts, or you guys have sentimental value and love these cars, I'd say it is worth it, but you're going to have to realize you might have to do some additional maintenance down the line, that being building the motor, which I actually have a motor being built right now to push more horsepower. That's something that a lot of people kind of, I should say, don't really think about when they want to go ahead and build these cars. I mean, 450 wheel horsepower out of a 2-valve Mustang, that is a lot of horsepower on these cars. These cars are on the lighter end. They weigh around 3,300 pounds. So if you do the power to weight math, that's actually not bad at all. This car, the way it is right now, can outrun a Gen 1 5.0 that is full bolt-ons, E85 with a Boss 302 manifold. This car can run side to side with a stock 10-speed 5.0 Mustang, maybe a modified depending on, you know, spinning conditions, but realistically, you get the car for, in this market, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous now. These cars are going for upper $8,000. I got my car for $4,000. If you can find the car for around $4,000, you can essentially have a car under $10,000 that can keep up or outrun a lot of the modern day V8s that are not supercharged, which in my personal opinion is not bad. It's a fun car to go ahead and, you know, build up, say it's yours, and, you know, have some fun on the street with. But if you guys are looking for big horsepower, if you guys are trying to push 6, 7, 800 wheel horsepower, you're gonna have to do a lot more work to these cars, and that's where things are gonna be getting very, very expensive. That being building the motor, going ahead and having to get an upgraded fuel system, as well as going ahead and, you know, replacing the transmission as well. Speaking of fuel systems, I do have a set of 4 performance 80-pound injectors in this car, as well as a Walbro 229-liter fuel pump, which is good for about 550 horsepower. So my feeling is good for the power that I'm making right now on stock motor, but you're gonna have to go ahead and switch to a return style fuel system that can be upwards of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 depending on the amount of power you want to actually go ahead and make. Now, for our transparency, I'm pushing this car upwards of 800 wheel horsepower to start, and then going ahead and breaking that 1,000 wheel horsepower mark. And the fuel system that I actually am putting in this car is around $2,900. So, I mean, it's pretty expensive to go ahead and drop on these cars, but at the same time, when you think about it, the price to acquire the vehicle, the modifications that you put on the vehicle, and kind of just changing the entire setup still does not overlap the price of a newer car. So it's going to be kind of one of those things where you're going to have to, you know, really be invested in these cars. You're going to really have to enjoy the new Edge Mustang for it to be worth it. And if you're looking for some, you know, fun horsepower, there's really no such thing as cheap, reliable horsepower. But if you're looking to stay around 400 to 450 wheel horsepower, you already have a new Edge Mustang GT, and you don't mind buying a used supercharger, I 100% recommend going ahead and boosting the car. In my personal opinion, it is worth it. Now, if you guys are one of those guys, which nothing wrong with this, if you don't like to buy used parts, if you want everything new under the hood, if you're building a show car, but you want to have that boost aspect on it, is it worth boosting these cars? In my personal opinion, spending over $4,000 for a supercharger system for this? Absolutely not. I don't think it's worth spending more than that. Because a used Pro Charger, supercharger can range from around $2,500 to $3,500 on the high end. Brand new, you're looking at $5,000 plus. Pro Charge, you're looking at $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 $8,000 depending on the amount of horsepower you guys are trying to push out. So it's gonna be one of those things where you're gonna have to love the car. You're going to have to want to put time and money into it long term for it to be worth it. And in my personal opinion, that's what I am doing, because this is the first car that I'm actually doing a complete overhaul with. New motor, boost, transmission, fuel system, everything done. My first V8, it has sentimental value, so I'm not, minding spending the money on this car. But if this isn't your first V8, or if it's your starter V8, something you want to just have for right now, but eventually upgrade to something else down the line, maybe a 5.0, or maybe even a Corvette or Camaro, is it worth going ahead and dumping a lot of money in these cars? In my personal opinion, no. I would go ahead and save your money and, put it to something that you absolutely really want. Hope this video did help you guys out, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and giving my honest opinions on if it is worth going ahead and supercharging these cars. If it has sentimental value, you don't mind buying used parts, and you are looking at it long term and you're gonna go ahead and add things like a built motor, transmission, fuel system, go right ahead. You can go ahead and have a 450 wheel horsepower car like I do for under $10,000. And that's pretty much what I did. Got the car for $4,000, went ahead, got a supercharger kit with all the supporting mods for another $4,000, and then the fuel system for about $1,000. So we're looking at what, $9K, and the car is pretty much up to speed with a lot of the NA, V8s. I think the car is from 2004, 4.6. You could say boost versus NA, but at the same time, old tech versus new tech. Let me know what y'all think, man. I know some of you guys are probably saying, for 8K, or in this case, for what, 5K, you can go ahead and get ready for a Coyote swap. Yes, I understand that, but like I said, this car has sentimental value. I want to go ahead and build up on something that I never had before, first V8. So yeah, that's going to be what everything is going to be costing, and you guys are going to have to make the decision for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you like the car, go for it. But I'm telling you guys this right now. If you are planning on going ahead and upgrading from these cars down the line, I would save the money and just jump to a 5.0, jump to a Camaro, jump to a Corvette, or maybe a different style of car. It's all gonna be, up to you guys. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications. Catch you on the next one.